Chapter 2: Maternal Roots. The second half of my lineage began in Latvia in the Courland. My grandmother, Henrietta Pallenbaum, on my mother's side lived in Latvia, Courland. Exactly when she immigrated to the United States is not clear. I never knew her husband, my grandfather, who died prior to my birth. The Duchy of Courland in Semigallia was a semi-independent duchy that existed from 1561 until 1795, encompassing the areas of Courland and Semigallia. Although nominally a vassal state of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, the dukes operated autonomously. In 1795, the last duke ceded the duchy to the Russian Empire. In 1863, the Russian authorities issued laws to enable Latvians, who formed the bulk of the population, to acquire farms which they held, and special banks were founded to help them. But the great mass of the population remained landless and lived as hired laborers, occupying a low position on the social scale. The population in 1870 was 674,437. In 1906, it is estimated that the population was 714,200. This population was made up of 8% Jews, 57,136, 79% Latvians, 8.75% Germans, 1.7% Russians, and 1% each Poles and Lithuanians. 75% of the population belonged to the prevailing denomination Lutherans. The rest belonged to the Eastern Orthodox and Roman Catholic churches. There was a small but vigorous Jewish population. When the Nazis conquered the Courland from the Russians in 1941, they began a systematic extermination of the Jewish population and destruction of all Jewish synagogues and artifacts. My mother, Beatrice, was born in Brooklyn, New York, USA in 1904 into a large family. She had 3 brothers, Phil, Dick, and Sonny, and 2 sisters, Jessie and Lenny. She was a beautiful woman. My mother was the most upbeat person I've ever known. She seldom had a bad word for anybody and always looked for the best in everybody. She was nicknamed Breezy Beezy by her contemporaries. She always had a smile on her face and was, next to my dad, the most courageous person I've ever known. When my father suffered fiscal reverses and became dangerously despondent and depressed in 1959 to 1960, my mother got a job running an office at a construction company in Livermore Falls, Maine. The folks were living in Lewiston, Maine at the time. My mother had to get up at 5 a.m. every morning and take a bus to work. She arrived home after 7 p.m. exhausted and then prepared meals and did household chores before going to bed. I think this strain on her both physically and mentally took their toll. She suffered several small strokes in her 60s and had open heart surgery at the age of 75 and again at age 83. Never throughout all this travail did she lose her sunny disposition. She was an avid reader. Although her physical well-being waned, she had her mental faculties about her until she passed away at age 93. Now that you've met my parents and have a sense of my roots, it's time for you to meet me.